we have a commonality in language, and the fluency with which English is spoken here is similar to what it is in India. So companies are able to relate to the people much easier. Second, demographic profile. It's a large population, concentrated population, and a young population, and a fairly large population base. And third, most importantly, like in India, people here have got a lot of aspirations and want to improve themselves. And Indian products, since they emerged out of India in an environment which is similar to Nigeria, would have better value for money, would be more adaptable to the environment, would be more user-friendly in an environment which is similar to that of India. So that is why we think that Indian corporates should be encouraged to come to Nigeria. It will be in the mutual interest of both of Nigeria and India if such corporates come, and it will result better employment generation and better development in Nigeria, as also better growth prospects for those Indian corporates for their balance sheets.
Looking at the role that India is playing in Nigeria's economy, we've seen the Indian economy grow quite rapidly in recent years. What can Nigeria learn from that? How can we work together with India to boost our own economy?
If you see why Indian companies are doing well and why they are growing rapidly is because they have grown up in an environment where they have to fend for themselves in India. India is also like Nigeria, as I mentioned, a federated democracy and a lot of problems in doing business there. So the company is used to doing something. When he comes here, it is not with the whole train of people along. Entrepreneurs come here and then they like to work with people. In India also they like to work with people, in here also they like to work with people. And since the language is not an issue, they employ local people. And because they employ local people, they get better access to markets and better access to what you call the various out there, and therefore they are able to do well. And entrepreneur development in India has taken place because the role of banks, which banks have played for the last 20 years. That is something which Nigeria can think of copying, because Government of India, as part of their policy, deliberately asked Indian banks to lend to small scale and medium enterprises on a standalone basis right from the 70s and 80s. So Indian banks have picked up professional skills on how to evaluate credit risks of individual entrepreneurs and how to promote entrepreneur development in individual entrepreneurs and how to help them learn how to manage business. Those skills of Indian banks can be thought about being introduced in the Nigerian banking system through tie-ups with Indian banks or through training facilities in India. A number of Indian consumer good manufacturers are also interested because they are selling to Indian markets and they are selling here. Now, if I see India and Nigeria, I have a negative trade balance with Nigeria, and it's a very large negative balance. I can make this into a positive balance or at least to a neutral balance if I have to put the growth, and I need to keep on importing from Nigeria. So I need to keep on exporting more. So I need to promote both. It is with that reason I've come to this conference, and with the idea of telling Indian companies that this is a market and you should explore that. And if you go there, you've got the largest, fastest growing country in Africa, a very large population base, a very young base, and a very upwardly mobile base, and a highly ambitious, and both of us speak the same language. The thing is that if you come to Nigeria, the amount of English which people speak here is as good or better as the people in India speak. So the cultural gaps are much less. So it's easier to do business. Other factors are very common in India and Nigeria. It's difficult to do business in India, it's difficult to do business in India. So they can adjust to that. Now, we are not asking for any special or preferential arrangements, but a government which is business friendly and which makes things more and more business friendly, that is what I think Indian corporates are looking for, just as they are looking for from the government in India. Nothing more than that and nothing special.